The Yaruga. Black-clad hordes. Villages burn. Folk lie murdered.
Nilfgaard! Gods help us!
They march for Dravagrad. Prince Willem, he can't hope to arrive in time with aid. Help us! You must!
Dravagrad. Blast it all. Listen close, soldier. You're to take a fresh mount, ride hard back to your commander and say the Queen comes to repel the foe.
Your Grace, begging your pardon, our force. We aren't many. Let's send for reinforcements first, elsewise...
Reynard, I've seen Nilfgaard's trebuchets at work. Should we delay until we're stronger, they'll leave no stone standing in Dravagrad. We must ride for the town at once.
As her men prepared to march, Niamh climbed the manor's tower. Smoke rose in columns in the distance. As more black pillars appeared one after the other, she knew they meant another home, another barn, another mill was in flames. Tears welled in her eyes, yet they were tears of anger.
Bastards. If it's war they seek, it's war I shall bring them. Reynard, prepare to ride!
First bandits, now this. Misfortune does indeed come knocking twice.
In hobnail boots, tramping upon my land. Nilfgaard shall regret this. I swear on all that is sacred and blessed.
Yes, Your Grace?
It's time I attended to...
If a troubadour paid us a visit, wouldn't that be something? Imagine Master Dandelion performing here.
Suddenly, Niamh's force found itself marching straight towards a Nilfgaardian company. To the Queen's surprise, the invaders did not immediately assume battle formation. They proceeded instead in her very direction without a sign of panic. The man leading the Nilfgaardians was clad in rich robes. He exuded pride and the scent of musk.
I am Trahaern var Vdifir, Your Majesty. I was asked to present your esteemed grace the ultimatum of the forces of the Empire of Nilfgaard.
The envoy cracked the seal on a scroll, unfurled it, took a deep breath, and began to read.
I, General Ardal Ebdahi, demand the immediate and unconditional surrender of Lyria and Rivia. Elsewise, I will burn down every city, town, village, and temple, place all your subjects in chains, and your armed men, defeated and captured, I will hang along the roadsides as a warning to all others in the barbarous north.
As the final threat echoed in Niamh's ears, the envoy put away the scroll and stood waiting for her answer, a mocking smile on his face. He allowed himself this insolence believing the immunity accorded diplomats would shield him from any form of royal ire.
His Excellency speaks true. We Nordlings are barbarians, without exception,
Answered the Queen. Though her voice was calm, most of those listening shuddered inside.
We neither hold nor honor the standards of the civilized world. Among them, the immunity of envoys. At the...
This is savagery! Barbers! To attack an emissary!
Again and again and again.
Our ballista at your command.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
I'm a monster. One bullet I need.
This is savagery!
The envoy's escort crumbled beneath the onslaught of Meave's Lyrians, who grabbed the emissary and brought him before their queen. Robes torn and head blooded, he no longer exuded imperial pride.
Your Grace, what would you have us do with this pompous arse?
I want him shackled in iron collar and manacles. To the capital we shall take him, and in the castle dungeon he shall taste of northern hospitality.
The envoy's jaw opened. but no sound, no protest came forth. The Queen's irate stare drilling into him, he simply swallowed audibly. Traherne var Fetifir, usually silver-tongued, remained utterly silent the rest of the way to the capital.
My boots got sand aplenty in them.
Then one day, gazing towards the horizon, the Queen spotted Lyrian banners whipping about in the wind.
At long last,
She said with a smile. Niamh resolved to speak with the commander, one Baronet Eldar. It was the first time they met, and the youth very much impressed her. Yet instead of questioning Eldar about the foe's troop movements, Reynard took the conversation down a seemingly irrelevant path.
And how's your father, if I may ask? In good health, I hope?
Yes, though he still nurses that bump he suffered while hunting last winter. Yet he's not one to complain. I'll tell him you asked.
Irritated at the trivial nature of the conversation, Niamh gave her horse a dose of her reins and cantered off. Once Eldar and his men were safely behind them, she took Reynard aside.
Reynard, this is no time for gossip and pleasantries. We are at war.
Yes, Your Majesty. And in such times, little should be taken at face value. Even a man's name.
Get to the point, Reynard.
Eldar's father died a month past. His son, I venture, should have known as much.
But that means... Oh, the bastard. Impeccable accent, though.
I fear he's rather representative of what we face. Nilfgaardian spies are ever well prepared.
Tell me, how did you know?
He wears no mourning on his armor. Were it not for that, I dare say I might never have guessed. What are your orders, Your Grace? To observe these Nilfgaardian mummers?
Assemble a force. Tell them to follow our new allies. Observe them closely.
As you wish, Your Grace.
Reynard's scouts did as ordered, watching the false Lyrians while themselves remaining unseen. Soon after, a scout returned with news that the false Lyrians seemed headed for Rastburg, a castle several leagues to the north.
House, barn, granary. Blackclads burnt it all down. Begged 'em, my lady. On hands and knees. They just laughed. We offend their emperor some ways, Your Majesty. House, barn, granary. Blackclads burnt it all down.
The false Lyrians approached Rasburg Castle. They sought to convince the defenders to open the gate. As their commanders negotiated with the commander on the ramparts, the remaining infiltrators crouched hidden behind a wall, awaiting the signal to rush forth.
Time for Baronet Elder to join his falsely claimed father,
muttered the Queen.
Follow me!
They found us! C'est la Tuvine!
Very gloire!
Aye. Should have listened to me, old lady.
In retreat!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Tuvini gloire!
Quiet, or the Commissar will hear.
Left, right, left, right.
Scheiß! In Trade!
Off to the front yet again.
One boat.
A lesson in humility coming now.
Elherzer!
What do you want of me?
Yes?
Give me a target.
Destillat Zweifel!
Our ballista, your command.
They found us! Säga not to win!
There he gloire! My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Retreat!
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Enoch Fian!
Left, right, left, right.
Brach! Scheiß! Im Trade! Discipline shall bring us victory!
Our ballista, your command. Armor won't save.
Off to the front yet again.
once our year.
Again and again and again.
Go on, Kazan! A lesson in humility coming now.
One bolt I need.
Discipline, that is what you folk lack.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Yes.
Give me a target.
The Nilfgaardians found themselves in a clinch. As boiling oil and tar rained down on them from the walls, they attempted to retreat. Yet Meave's halberdiers cut off their path, and at the fight's end, Meave was victorious. The garrison commander now knelt by the body of the purported Baronet Eldar, in truth a Nilfgaardian spy. He shook his head in disbelief.
He addressed me by name. Knew our watchwords. Why, if you hadn't come along, Your Grace, I fear even to think on it.
Let this be a lesson, then. Trust no one, not a living soul.
Though victory was theirs, the Lyrians left Rasburg in mightily low spirits. They now knew well that Nilfgaard's spies were no less a threat than its heavy cavalry, than its war machines that spit fire.
Milady, if I may, the enemy yet lurks. You must bolster your force. You must incorporate a detachment from my unit. Oh, the times, the world, the day. Can't even tell friend from foe. Treachery round every corner. The black lads may have more mounts and machines, but they've no honour, not an ounce.
Yes, Your Grace?
It's time I attend.
Ah, if a troubadour paid us a visit, wouldn't that be something? Imagine Master Dandelion performing here.
What the devil is going on? Where are our reinforcements? Why does Willem not ride out to face the foe, relieve besieged towns?
I can't say, Your Grace. We haven't had a single scroll from the Prince.
Gods be damned. I've the impression I'm alone in fighting the Blackclads.
Begged her, milady. On hands and knees. They just laughed. We offend their Emperor some ways, Your Majesty.
Keep a keen watch. Heard the thunder of hooves from the high road. Cries and eruptions in a foreign tongue.
Your Majesty, what of Prince Willem? Where is he? Why's he not come to relieve us?
We'd had omens, oddities that foretold this blow. But in the milk, stillborn foals, trees withered of a sudden, and I lost me tooth in a sweet run.
Meave's retinue was riding through a narrow gully when a shrill cry cut the air.
And then in order!
The gully came alive, and soldiers in black armor rushed forth. A cry in turn went up and down Meave's ranks. Ambush!
Defensive formation!
101, 102, 103.
After the skirmish, the Queen's troops brought several Nilfgaardian prisoners before her. Reynard, who had the best command of their mongrel tongue, interrogated. His first question? How many battalions were marching on Dravograd?
Kes, Zagdran, ep Dravograd, ven.
The prisoners whispered feverishly, then one spoke on their behalf. They would answer no questions until the Queen pledged to free them in return. The Lyrian soldiers saw this as arrogance, and said as much.
Conditions they're giving us now? Sons of whores! I say, we find a tree with a strong bough, several...
I know not the custom in Nilfgaard, but here in the north, the vanquished do not make demands.
Meave gazed at the prisoners.
Since you do not wish to speak, you shall remain forever silent. Ready a rope!
That day, Meave demonstrated she would show the invaders no mercy. The Lyrians marched off, strengthened in their resolve, prepared to fight to the death.
blackclads trampled my son, your majesty. I saw him walking along the road. He didn't slow, not one bit. My lady, I've nae much, but I'll gladly give me last coin for the cause. For vengeance. Blackclads think us less nor dogs.
Niamh and company passed by a village evidently pillaged by the Nilfgaardians. From afar they had heard cries, but as they drew near they recognized them not as cries of grief, but as cursing, cries of anger.
Give him a proper walloping, the scoundrel!
Mercy, good folk! I've done nothing wrong!
The villagers stood gathered near the hamlet's center, surrounding an elf, bloodied and cowering. Stones in hand, the peasants threatened and cursed him. The queen demanded an explanation. A ruddy-faced blacksmith stepped forth and spit.
A Nilfgaardian spy the horse and is, your majesty. He's the one brought him here to raise the village. He's gotta hang.
The other villagers agreed with the smith. The elf fell at the queen's feet and grovelled.
Have mercy, Drenna. Save your loyal subject. They lie! They fault me only as I am an elf.
Niamh was torn, could not decide who spoke the truth. She thus resolved not to meddle at all. Coming to the elf's defense could only rile the resentful crowd. Later, as the villagers placed a noose around his neck, the elf cursed the queen's indifference to his fate.
Devils take you, Thronebreaker! Devils take you! Your line! Your whole damned land!
Niamh gave the signal to depart. As her force marched off, all heard the elf's cries of grief and pleas for mercy. Then they stopped mid-sentence, and the silence rang in Niamh's and her soldiers' ears.
One traitorous head less than we had afore. One traitorous head less than we had afore.
Remember this, Nilfgaardians. You'll not defeat the gods. They fear not your torches. They fear not your swords. Blasphemers, pagans, idolaters who prostrate themselves to the sun. Curse you, sons of Nilfgaard. Mongrels, tear your flesh and gnaw your bones.
A dark shadow suddenly cut across the sky. The Queen instinctively brought her shield up, convinced a Nilfgaardian catapult had lobbed a boulder their way. When the boulder landed in the road ahead, it smashed into splinters and proved an empty barrel.
This is what they cast at us. Barrels. Is this some jest?
Well, they're not known for their sense of humour, the Nilfgaardians,
answered Reynard. Meve stood in her stirrups, squinted, peered into the distance, and let out a hearty chortle. For the barrel had been loosed by neither catapult nor trebuchet, but by a rock troll consumed by fury. At what? A company of Nilfgaardian soldiers had pitched camp by the cave the troll called home.
Troll or non-troll?
Said the Queen, drawing her sword.
None deserve to die at Nilfgaard's hands. Follow me!
Larum! Essayr Tuvin Avian!
For soup!
Protect the troll!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Wise choice.
Order!
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
It's safe!
Your Grace, the troll, it's a bit unpredictable.
Your life is mine now.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Hail Katza!
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Pays late. Again. Nilfgaard!
Used to be, I hunted game. Men bring more coin.
One boat's all I need.
Humans good do. Shoop help.
The Lyrians smashed the Nilfgaardian force. The troll, having grown suddenly pensive, gazed and picked at the invaders' corpses.
Clad in blacks humans, no good humans.
Just so, Sir Troll. The Nilfgaardians are a devious lot. Our land they've attacked most treacherously.
Clad in blacks humans hard. Why no good humans? Big lot armor. You got to. Try morsel of human, you wish?
Do you know to whom you speak? This is Her Majesty, your queen.
Greeting your queen. Shoop is me.
There, Reynard. I believe I can manage this. Say, Shoop, you've quite the stockpile of kegs. Do you engage in custom, perhaps?
No. Kegs good for smash when Shoop angry gets. But costume engaging. That what mean?
It means... well, to trade one thing for another. At a profit.
One thing for other. For glitter rocks, even.
Yes, if you play your cards right, you might just convince someone to pay you in rocks.
Cards, kegs, trade, glitter rocks. Oh, Shoop plan got. Shoop gotta go. Afore human go, Shoop human give. Your queen aid give, your queen aid get.
The troll turned on his heel and ran out of his cave, his destination known only to himself. As she moved to leave, a hunch told Meve the world would yet hear of this troll named Shoop.
known so many armed men in my life, and each one in black plate and winged helm. Heard them Nilfgaardians got hearts of stone, no mercy for a single soul. Reinforcements from the capital, milady. Where are they? Why've we no protection? Reinforcements from the capital, milady. Where are they? Why've we no protection?
Look at the palisades. The machines of war. Too many to count.
I cannot fathom it. Has Nilfgaard sent all its forces into Lyria?
No, your grace. But a single army.
Gods protect us.
The queen uttered a juicy curse. Dravagrad stood before them, Nilfgaardians all round it. 3, perhaps 4 battalions of armoured infantry. Arbalists and cavalry behind them. Trebuchet volleys had punched holes in the walls, while battering rams had twisted the main gate open. But elsewise, the city was mere moments from falling to the foe.
Doomed! We stand not a chance. Nilfgaard outnumbers us twofold. More!
Then our men must put double the spirit into the fight. Double the heart. Lyria!
Emboldened by their valiant queen and commander, the Lyrians charged headlong at Nilfgaard's lines into a hail of bolts and arrows.
Attack! Rid this city of all black-clad filth!
Your Grace, I see the commander. We must train our efforts on him.
Aye. To thee, Nigloire! Should have listened to me old lady. Alba! This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads. There, Nigloire!
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Left, right, left, right.
Pays late. Again.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
One bullet's all I need.
Time I taught you some respect.
Give me a time.
Your Grace, there, on the horizon. Reinforcements for the foe.
Again and again and again.
To thee, ni gloire!
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Our ballista, your command.
Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei!
Armor won't stay.
Alba!
Hail Captain!
Off to the front yet again.
Destillat Seifel! Quiet, or the Kommissar will hear.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
My boots got sand aplenty in them.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei!
Attack! Rid this city of all black-clad filth!
Your Grace, I see the commander. We must train our efforts on him.
To thee, ni gloire!
Should have listened to me old lady. War and Captain! This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads. Our ballista at your command.
Your Grace, there, on the horizon. Reinforcements for the foe.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Very gloire! Armor won't save them.
We must trust each other.
Off to the front yet again.
El Herzer.
A lesson in humility coming now.
One bolt to my aid. Give me a target.
Alba!
Quiet! The Commissar will hear. Can't take it anymore. Brach! Scheiß! In Trade!
Ugh. Lyrian lummoxes.
Off to the front yet again.
Quiet! Or the Commissar will hear.
They retreat! Your Majesty, the city's ours!
The Nilfgaardians fled in panic, abandoning war machines, shields and arms, even their wounded. The defenders rejoiced. They laughed boisterously, and cries of delight and chanting could be heard all around. "Warrior Queen," they shouted. "Meve! Meve! Meve!"
Hear that, your grace?
I do. No sound rings more lovely to a ruler's ear. Yet rest on our laurels we cannot. Caldwell, the situation in the town, what can you tell me?
Wall breached. Thrice. 400 wounded, near 1,000 without roofs over their heads. All nothing compared to the grain stores. Went up in smoke during the siege. And it's some time yet afore the harvest. Your Grace, the war's just begun, I know. All coins should bolster the army, yet if we leave the folk of Dravograd no gold, there will be hunger, with all the attendant discord.
The drought of 1258 I remember all too well. I saw famine, what it drives folk to do, the extremes. A strong army I need desperately, yet not at all costs. The townsfolk need gold to survive till the harvest. Count how much, then give it to the garrison commander.
As you command, Your Grace?
The battle we've won, there's just the war that remains. And Nilfgaard will strike again, doubt it not. We must move on. Caldwell, ride ahead to Lyria. My son must call a gathering of the Council of Peers. Tell him so. We'll have much to discuss. Reynard and I will follow with the troops. We shall seek out any Nilfgaardian stragglers, prevent them from rejoining the main force.
Meve's two adjutants bowed and left the Queen to think. She was hungry, sore from the fight, spent. Yet sensing her soldiers' eyes upon her, she set off for the stable, her gait brisk, her head held high.
Golden armor! Golden armor! Golden air! Reaps blackclads like grain! Meve! Meve! Meve!